Hey everybody. On today's episode, I'm going to be doing a Mexican comfort food known as morisqueta con chorizo, or boiled rice with chorizo sausage. Now this is typically known as a sopa seca, or a dried soup. Now what does that mean? Well, if you've ever been to a big Italian wedding, you know how pasta sort of comes after the appetizers before the main meal? It's the same sort of concept. You can have your soup, then you'll have a sopa seca, then you'll have your main meal in Mexico. And this particular recipe demonstrates how all the different influences from the Moors into Spain, into Mexico, back and forth, and see how certain ingredients and certain customs sort of intermingled. And that's what makes Mexican food so special. You have a great variety of ingredients. You have a good mix of cultures that came in, and certain foods developed out of it. You got to remember that chili peppers, paprika, chocolate, vanilla, potatoes, tomatoes, all of these things were gifts from Mesoamerica. And from the European side, they managed to get certain herbs and spices and techniques as well. So here's an interesting little comfort food that I think you're going to like. Let's go. So we're going to make a Sonora-style chorizo, or a fresh sausage. So we're going to need 3 pounds of a pork shoulder. You can get it ground up, or you can do it yourself. I'm going to dice up half of an onion. So after we diced everything up, keep a bit of the onion in reserve. We're going to finally chop that up, and we're going to use that to cook our rice with. So now that our onion is done, we're also going to need 3 cloves of garlic, 1 per pound, and some chile de árbol for taste. To make a basic chili powder, you'll need oregano, paprika, cumin, and chilies. But to the sausage, we're also going to add cinnamon, allspice, pepper, and salt. Now, cinnamon and black pepper were gifts from the Moors. Cumin and oregano were gifts from the Spanish. And the allspice and the chilies are all native to Central America. And of course, you need some salt when you're making a sausage. So this exemplifies, on a plate, Mexican food. Anyways, we're going to grind it all up to make a powder like this. We're also going to need about 2 tablespoons of a very fruity vinegar. I'm using red wine in this case, but once you go to Mexico, you'll find out they have all varieties of fruity vinegars. Pineapple, banana, you name it. So to make the sausage, we have our cold ground pork, and we're going to add our diced onion and our spice blend. We're also going to add our vinegar and our minced up garlic. Also, we're going to need something to bind it, so half a cup of cold water. So whenever you're making sausage, always remember this mantra: do it cold, do it quick, and do it clean. Rice was introduced to Spain by the Moors. Now whenever you're cooking it, maintain a ratio of either 2 to 1 or 1.5 to 1 water to rice. However, the most important step is to rinse the surface starch off the rice. This allows for the individual grains to separate easily, to plump up, and it just looks better on the plate. So you'd add cold water, you rinse and drain until the water is clear, and you see it plumps up. No matter what method you use to cook it, just remember to rinse first. We're also going to need some tomatoes to chop up, and that reserved onion that we had from before we're going to finally chop. This is going to be the basis for our sauce or our rice. First step, fry the chorizo on low temperature. We want to render out as much of the fat and flavor out of the sausage. I'm using about 200 grams or 6 ounces worth here. Now, once it's fried up a bit, we're going to get a slotted spoon, and we're going to remove the meat, but maintain a lot of that fat in the pan. This is going to really flavor everything nicely. Afterwards, we're going to put that onion into the fat that we had, and we just cook it until it's soft. Then we're going to add the chopped up tomatoes and crank up the heat. This will facilitate the breakdown and form it into a sauce. So you stir it around, make sure the tomatoes start to break down a little bit, and then we're going to return the meat to the pan. Now's the time we add the rice. Now you notice how the grains separate nicely? It's because we pre-rinsed it. Anyways, keep on stirring. Distribute all those spices and fatty goodness everywhere with the rice. And that's pretty much it. Morisqueta con chorizo. A wonderful comfort food, simple to do, and it's well worth discovering. Have a great week. Share, like, and subscribe, everybody. Bon provecho.